Hey everybody, coming at you live from the gear room. Now, for my longtime viewers, this is the video that everybody's been requesting for several years. And my gear room, my equipment room was a total mess, always been a mess. I didn't think I'd ever show it. I had problems with it flooding, okay. I fixed that. I cleared out a lot of the junk. I've done some waterproofing. There's a lot more organizing to do, but it's basically back to where I can use the room and I can get things out of the room and use it. Okay. Now, for my longtime viewers, when you see this video and as you're looking around, you're going to see a lot of things that have been in the videos in the past, and you'll understand them. Now, for some of my newer viewers, or people that haven't watched a lot of my videos, you're going to see a lot of homemade stuff, a lot of things that you don't know what they are, and a lot of excess. And when I say excess, you got to remember, I have been buying gear that I don't need for 30 years. Collecting for 30 years. And another thing too is, for those of you that have spouses that complain and say you have too much equipment or spend too much money, this is a video for you. Show them this and they'll appreciate just how little you have bought over the years. So let's get ready for the full tour of the gear room. And what I'm going to do, it's hard to film indoors. I'm used to big wide open spaces with sunlight. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera on my shoulder mount and I just take a quick breeze through just so that you'll kind of know what we're looking at as I go through each area and kind of explain. Now, it used to be a lot of this gear was in boxes because there was no place to put it. And you can't have everything out on a shelf, okay? But what I have done is I put as much as I can on the shelf. Some of these shelves are still packed with junk, but it's just going to take months to get everything exactly like I want it. Some of the stuff's still in boxes, but we're going to just a quick breeze through, and then I'm going to show you basically, you know, we'll talk step by step about what I've done and why it's where it is and what's to come in the future. So enough rambling, let's take a look. Alright, so we're walking towards the gear room. Okay, now a quick pan around. As you walk in, there's two tables here. There's a small table out here on the end, and then I have an 8-foot table, and then there's a 6-foot table. Now what that table is for is it's for staging things. A little bit more about that later. And that table down there is for like winding rope, sharpening knives, machetes, you know, just in general things like that. So let's start right over here. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. There's a table there, and that table is covered in boxes full of gear. And underneath it, there's some more gear, and I've learned that you can store stuff in coolers if you have any kind of problems with the basement flooding. There's some gear, there's some LBVs on the wall, they're hanging up. There's more gear hanging up right there. That shelf right there is covered in boxes and miscellaneous junk. It's not very organized. And then there's another shelf right there, okay, with more boxes on it, homemade cook kits. And then as you come on down, there's an axe rack that's got some things up on top. And then I decided to put my boots in here. Those are all my outdoor boots. Those are no street boots, no work boots or nothing. There's a bunch of outfits hanging on the wall. They don't have to hang there, but they look cool. I'll explain more of that later. There's some backpacks. There's some more boxes right there stored underneath. Okay. Now as you go up here, there's a rack, rope, bungee cords, webbing, more about that. More racks with knives and machetes. More junk stored down underneath, all the way across. Then we'll come up here. There's a hammock hanging from the roof. A bunch of sleeping bags and blankets right there. More junk down at the bottom. Boxes, junk under there. And then there's some more shelves covered in packs and pouches and things. Alright. This shelf here, let me go around this table. That shelf right there is another one of those shelves that I was talking about that's just covered in junk. Okay. And then down below I'm going to sweep across, and there's some more boxes full of gear, sitting on some old couches and chairs and things. And then right up above it is clothing galore, and none of that is work clothes, none of it is street clothes, it's all outdoor clothing. And you got to be outfitted for different areas, and that's why I have so much clothing. And then of course there's more clothing, a lot of M65 field jackets and things that are super heavy. There's a box full of junk right down there then. And that blue bag is my camera bag full of tripod equipment. So let's put you back on the tripod and then let's take a little bit better look at things. Now that you know that the way I have broken it down and shown you the way this room is set up. Let me back up here and get another corner. See, there's a walkway down through here. You can see where the two tables are, and I can pass through the tables there, or I can pass around the tables there. And then there's another walkway on this side. And the basic setup with it is that what I'm going to do is, like if I have a backpack that I want to fill, I can just put it on the table and just grab some of these boxes from anywhere in this room and set them on the table and open them up and see what's in the box. We're back on the tripod now, and over here hanging on the wall there's like a woodland camo LBV. And then there's I think that's a Flecktarn one. And then that's an old Swiss backpack right there. And then I've got a real old frame backpack from in the 70s. And then there's boxes full of things. That box there is full of do-rags and gloves and compasses. And then down below it there's a duffel bag, a Swiss Army sleeping bag, my U.S. Army rope bag. This next one over here, it's got water filters and various mesh bags. And just fire pan TP, people would know what that is. That over there is a complete modular sleep system in that box. It's got the Gore-Tex bag and the two sleeping bags. And over there is just, that's various stuff right there. Those are some of my cook sets in there. That's percolators right there, hanging percolators, and my chef trail set. That over there, the top box, is my pivot pot and my bacon fry and dippers and things. And then down below it right there I've got hammocks, and up top I have a hanging bowl, and there's a bunch of dippers in it. You might can see them hanging out. Now down below there I've noticed that if you store gear in coolers, it protects the stuff. There's some sleeping bags and other various gear in there. There's some old fleece sleeping bags. And I think that blue pouch there is full of machete sheaths and knife sheaths. And then that's what's left of my Dakota Pit tent. So let's move over closer to that video. Corner. I got to noticing that filming indoors, some of these regular lights have like a yellow look. But as you can see, the LED lights really put off a good white look. So I'm just going to carry this handheld light around with me as I'm doing a lot of this stuff. Now let's take a look in one of these, let's look at this rack up here. I've got this wooden rack up here, and for people that's familiar with my videos, they'll know I'm always using, like, this is where I can, this stuff used to be in boxes, but these are like all my little homemade stainless steel hangers. And then here's some heavy duty carabiners, and then like cables. I've got to where I make up these cables for different things. Some thermometers. Here's some paracord on heavy duty cables. These are my no puncture blanket pins. I got them hanging up. Here's some tent stakes, some more tent stakes, a bunch of cables back here. These are some little rods for hanging pots. And see, all this stuff used to be in boxes, and now it's out to where I can actually get at it, which is pretty cool. And now let's look down here at some of these various boxes. Like here's a box right here, and I have the contents on the outside of it. It's got like Eno double nest, my hammocks, my net hammock. There's a bash of tarp in here. And so what I do then is I just go in here, and there's like, if I want a wool blanket, I know where it's at. It's labeled in the box. And then here's like a net hammock, and you know, just various things. And I have these mesh bags. This is an Eno hammock in here with the suspension. Here's another Eno hammock that's got different suspension in it. You know, here's a net hammock, and that's the idea behind boxes. If I had enough shelf space, you could have everything out on here like this. So here's another box. Just, well, I'm not going to go through every single box, but it's just box after box after box is just full of things here. I've got like a large percolator, a small percolator. You know, this is a cook pot. Here's my billy can in the bag. You know, you get the basic idea of what's behind all these. So, like I said, there's no reason to go through. Over here on the shelf, there's just all kinds of miscellaneous junk right here. All of those boxes have small things. That one over there is full of clamps and carabiners. That one right there. Let me lock this down. I got food in there, a little bit of cookware, olive oil. There's some more food in here. I have like packs of muffin mix and coffee. This is some e-tools and shovels. All my little mini fishing kits are right in here. Up here, these are some various unused survival supplies. That's a new water filter right there. This is some of those reflective vests. This, I have a bunch of those bug hats. I bought a bunch of them. This is flint, for flint and steel. And this is a chunk of flint that somebody sent me from England. It's pretty cool. That's good to have. If you want to go down and over a little bit more, let's look right here. Down and over. This is just some various junk. This is another shelf that I plan on going through one day. Those are a bunch of blueprints for shelters and things that I've designed. There's a little bit of camera gear over there. If you'll come over here, that's a bunch of junk left over from, those are food containers over in the corner. That's all plastic and mylar from super shelters. There's some tent poles underneath it, another reflective shelter. Go down, there's some more camera equipment, tripods. There's some rope over there. There's a piece of fiberglass hot blanket. I think that's some carbon fiber blanket. Down below is another big box full of junk. Those are my tables, my Lexan tables right there that strap to trees that a lot of people have seen that have been watching my videos. Now let's move you up here and take a look up on the top up there. There's just some various rope up there, rope and string and things, and there's like some old military gear and flashlights, canteen pouches, some pots and pans. That's a Coleman stove up there. That's one of those old gas Coleman stoves. I like that. And now for the smaller stuff, right there, that's a bunch of the tent repair kit, small shovels, emergency first aid kit. There's another box, that little shoe box has got flint in it. This is headlamps right here. See, I keep this stuff. Let me just move you down right here. I'll pull these boxes off. See, all of my headlamps. I can't see the camera. All of my little headlamps and lanterns and flashlights I keep in this box right here. And then there's super shelter plastic, and I've got another small box so that I don't have to be digging around everywhere. This is my ferro rod box. Because ferro rods, you have to be careful how they store. Look at this. What am I doing? You can't even. I'm having trouble looking in the viewfinder and then moving this around. But you got to be careful about how you store these. You can't get like moisture to them. So let's put that back up on the shelf there. Now let's go back up here to where I can see what I'm doing. Okay, we got the flint and steel. This, below it, that was the ferro rod box. This is my flint and steel, gel fuel lighters, mag bars. This is an old alcohol cook set over here in the corner. This is alcohol stoves, isopro stoves, fire piston, binoculars. These are the things right here that I don't want to get too hot. This is all tinder pouches, char cloth. There's like my cans. I have like cans that I make char cloth in, and pouches that I carry like flint and steel, more char cloth, you know, just I keep all that in one place. This is my knife sharpening box right here. This is more tubes and food jars. This is another first aid kit that always straps to my camera bag. Some MREs. Let's drop down here and look. This is all various stuff. This bowl and lid gets used for several setups. So I don't put it in a bag. I need to see what it is. And if you look over here, there's all these pouches here, all these different grills and cook sets that I've made. And I plan on doing a video one day. I definitely can't undo every single one of these on this video. And as you can see, that second shelf is pretty much nothing but cook sets. And then down below it, there's some more, there's some tarps and some parts and pieces of cook sets. Alright, now eventually you can see this shelf right here is kind of like the way I want it, because I got sick of having all my homemade cook sets in boxes, and I like to have them on a shelf, and I'm eventually going to label them so that I know what they are. But I will do one video on the homemade cook sets in the future. See down below there, I've got like those are my rubber boots for wearing like in swamps and wetlands, and then I've got my extreme deer stalkers, and then I got my snake boots, and then there's like jungle boots, camouflage boots, rocky boots, more camouflage, desert boots. That's Alpha Force. No reason really to go through all of them. Now here's my axe rack that I made recently. I got sick of not being able of just having axes laying around everywhere and having them leaned up, because you could warp the halves if you leave them hanging up. If you leave them leaned up against something like that, it could warp them. And so what I did is I built this piece here, and I've got these little things at an angle. So what I do now is I have my axes hanging up here, and I know where they're at. They're all in one place, and whenever I want an axe, I pick out what I want. And down here is the sheath that I need. You know, I have all the sheaths laying here, so that whenever I go to bring an axe on a trip, you know, I grab the axe I want, grab the sheath off the bottom down here, and put it on. So that's really handy. This is a new device right here, new for me. Let's see. Now, right over here, hanging on the side of this cabinet right here, there's my there's my grappling hooks that I use, and here's one of my tripod discs that I made over the years. Let's ease on down just a little bit. And I've got some of these S hooks. I got some mini block and tackle here. There's a bunch of paracord and things here hanging up. All kinds of little devices that I've made over the years. Another hook, rings and things, just carabiners, just stuff that's over here. And there's one of those reflective looking things. Now up top, I have put a few. This is an inflatable pad, and then this is a mat that I use right here for protecting my mats. A heavy duty looking thing. So let's go on over here and look at this. That's just a handy place to put them to get them up and out of the water. Now down that wall, as you can see, hanging from the roof, I have several different kind of camo outfits. I think they're cool looking, but in the future they may not all be camo hanging there. Because up top, as you can see, what I've got is I've got, like with each outfit, I've got the gloves or hat or do-rag of my choice. You know, like the desert camo, I've got the hat and the Nomex flight gloves, and the digital woodland camo, I've got some olive drab gloves with a hat, and I've got a multicam do-rag with multicam gloves for my multicam outfit right there. Now let's take a look at this right here and talk about this for a minute. Okay, see if I can get over here. There's all the camouflage outfits I was telling you about. And then let's go down here a little bit. You can see now down below right there, there's boxes. That one right there has all my different size woodland camo tarps. And below it, there's two of those camouflage moving blankets with the bags. And then over there, that's my German sniper bag, the one that's got the arms. Those are full of pistol belts, suspenders, butt packs, load-bearing vest. This other one over here, that right there is got my poncho liners. It's got my poncho liners and my ponchos and camo rain suits. And eventually, I want to get my poncho liners out and hang them up. I don't want them stored in there. And that down there box is full of rope and paracord that I don't use very often. Now, the idea behind these backpacks here, see if I can ease over here. The idea behind these backpacks is what I wanted a place over here so that when I put backpacks, I can set it on this table here and I can gather up all the supplies that I want. And what I'll do is I'll figure out what I want to carry on a trip, and then I'll set this piece of paper down here, and then I'll have a backpack, and then what I'll do is I'll fill it up. And then I'll put a list of the contents. and then for what trip it was planned for what area. Like if I'm going into the wetlands, if I'm going to be on boat, if I'm going to be on foot, if I'm going to ride my bicycle, is it going to be on a mountain? What's the weather, hot, cold, will there be hammocks, bug nets, whatever. And so what I do is these backpacks, instead of having them hanging up, they'll be fully outfitted with what I need. And then I just, whatever outfit I'm in the mood for, whatever camouflage, I just reach up and grab it, and I'm good to go. But anyway, yeah, that's the idea behind these shelves and the way these backpacks are arranged here. So let's move on over here. Underneath there's like there's a duffel bag and ductwork for my cold air shelter. And then over there, those down there, the cans, the metal cans down there are my tender cans for carrying chaga and stuff. That's a medium Alice pack. That over there is a Dutch pack. That box over there's got more miscellaneous junk. Underneath there where those gray shelves is where I store like chaga and feather sticks and curls, and there's like another bucket over there for transporting lit chaga. And underneath there, that jacket right there has got extreme weather stuff. It's got Arctic mittens. It's got my Russian military winter outfit. And it's got my U.S. Army certified climbing rope. And it's got my fast rope. Down in there, there's some extra cordage and all of my bow drills. That's basically the cordage for my bow drills. So let's go over here now, look. And right here we have, let's see, that is my machete rack full of machetes, whatever machete I want to carry. That knife there is full, that rack there is full of larger knives, and it's full of my folding saws. That little rack is full of neck knives. Now, neck knives, I used to keep them in a box, and they were getting all tangled up, so I made that little shelf for it. Up there, let's go over here and look. Okay, I'm going to put this in a view to where I can talk about it. That is rope hanging up. Whatever rope I need, starting with 50 feet, 50 feet, 25, 25, 25, 25. Whatever rope that I need. Alright, now let's go over here. Let's see if I can make this to where I can see what I'm doing. Talking a little bit. I think the lighting is good enough over here that I don't have to... it's really bright on my face. It's aimed right at me. But anyway, I have the rope over there. This is various cans and pouches right over here on top of this rack. This is a foam pad, tube bed, bracelets. All of this up here is all of my belts. I have all of my military style belts. I've got like coyote, tan, olive, drab, black. I keep them all hanging up there so that I can see them. This is all various webbing. Some of this webbing is large. It goes on the bottom of a backpack. This stuff used to be just laying everywhere. This is for like strapping foam pads and sleeping bags to the bottom of a backpack. Some of this stuff is the elastic stuff for putting around my leg to support the bottom of a machete. I got all my bungee cords up here. These are my cloth covered bungee cords. They're good for strapping packs to trees, and they're also good for strapping pads and things to the bottom of a backpack. So that's that. Now I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to show you some more over here with some of this other stuff in this corner. Now before we get to the other corner, well, the other shelf, I want to show you, I have, as you can see, that right there is an old net hammock. Okay. Now years ago in the past, whenever I let's aim this about right here. Okay, hopefully I can see you. Now let me walk over there. Let's see, can you see me? I can't see myself. I am so organized. Alright, I'm having to move. I got a mirror on the viewfinder, which I still can't see. But that's alright, I'm sure y'all like looking at all the equipment. Alright, it took a minute to get the mirror adjusted so I can see what I'm filming from across the room. Now, the idea behind this is before, when the gear room was just filled with boxes and junk and things like that, my inflatable air mattresses, okay, I don't like keeping them folded up and in the stuff sack. So what I do is I had them laid on top of a bunch of boxes. But since I've organized that place, I don't want stuff laying on boxes. I want to be able to reach over and grab a box and get the gear out so I can plan a trip. So what I've done is I had this extra jungle hammock, and I had the space, so I just hung it from the roof. And what I do is I put my inflatable air mattresses up here so that they're laid out flat. Now, the valves on these things up here, I leave the valves open because if you leave these things inflated, they'll eventually develop leaks over the period of time. So what I did is I've just got them here, I've got them laid out flat, I let them self-inflate, and I have the valves unscrewed. Okay, seems to work for me. And so whenever I need one of them, it's like this is my static recon. What I did is I took it, because it's a tan bag, it's easy to explain, easy to see, and I took the black bags, the stuff sacks that go to these other air mattresses, and put them in there. So whatever I want to do is whenever I want to plan for a trip with an inflatable air pad, I just grab the one that I want off the hammock and then grab the bag out of here. Some of the rest of the stuff that's right here. Now on this table right here, I have some things that I plan on using that I'll leave right here. And that's like, I got that paracord right there. And what I'm going to do is I'll take that paracord. Let's move over here to the table. And what I'm going to do is this table here, this table here is, like I said, where I'll pull boxes off. Now this box is where I keep my paracord and my winding jig. And I have this winding jig labeled with these different holes for these different lengths. And that way whenever I get done with the trip, I can just rewind my mule tape or rewind my paracord, and then I put it all in this box. Because that other box over there that I have, there's junk laying everywhere. And so, like I said, I can use this table for this, and I'll eventually cut this up. This is a whole roll of paracord, and I'll cut it up and I'll sit right here and work with it. And then whenever I come back with the trip with my rope, this is my rope winding jig, and I'll sit here and I'll do this. And this is also a good place for sharpening machetes and things. So anyway, that made me think about that, seeing that paracord there. And then there's a backpacker. That thing right there is parts for a backpacker smoker. I'll eventually make a video on it. It hasn't been tested yet. Now down there is my 2-quart canteens with the pouches. You know, I got olive drab, black, and tan. Those are my 1-quart canteens. I've got some more 1-quart canteens attached to some of these butt packs and backpacks. That's some kind of a bag. Those are all butt packs. Olive drab, woodland camo, black. That thing right there is my Dakota oven that I put there. And then there's some more various pouches right there. Those 2 camo bags up there are full of MREs. That's some ACU bags. That's a DPM camo bag. That's one of my Molly water pouches. That German rain camo bag is my camera bag. There's another Molly bag. There's some various bags right through there. Now that rack right there, there's another woodland camo bag there. That whole rack right there is fleece caps and wool toboggans. Okay, down south we call them toboggans, and I think up north they call a toboggan a sled. And then there's some more winter gloves that are laying around right there. I've got an extra Gore-Tex bivy sack right there because I really don't like leaving those things folded up. I like leaving them just regular there. In the back corner back there, you'll notice I've got another foam pad. I got sick of leaving it rolled up all the time. Now, whether something is down or synthetic, to me, I think any blanket, any bag, any backpack, any sleeping bag, any down, or what do you call them, the cocoons for hammocks or the underquilts, none of them should ever be compressed. Don't store them compressed. The only time they should be compressed and in the stuff sack is when they're attached to your backpack and you're heading for a trip. Okay. Another good reason for the table there, so that whenever I'm going to bring a blanket or something, I'll lay it out and I'll know to roll it up and put it in the day before the trip. But these are my Snug Pack jungle blankets, and I have the stuff sacks with them. And this is a Snug Pack jungle bag, and I have the stuff sack with it hanging from it. these all have the stuff sacks hanging with them so they don't get lost. This is my snug pack cocoon for my hammock. I keep it hanging. That thing's 11 feet long. It's a big one. And then there's some other sleeping bags around here that I've got stored away. And in the future, I haven't decided how I'm going to do it. And I may wind up taking those camouflage outfits down. I don't know, but just for now, I think they're really cool. They add ambiance to my gear room man cave. But I got to find a place. I think I want every sleeping bag I own or that I still use to be hanging up. Anyway, there's a box down here. This has got this has tinder and bow drills in it. That's how I keep them stored. This shelf over here, that shelf right there is all pretty much, those are my waders. Oh, it reminds me, I've got another room completely filled with fishing equipment. Fishing rods, fly rods, saltwater rods, fishing tackle, but it's a bigger mess than this room. I doubt I'll ever show it. Anyway, that's a whole thing there full of junk. Well, before we get to the clothing, I showed you, there's the clothing. That right there, that is a box that has some of my compression sacks, my sling bag. There's 2 green mummy bags in there. There's 2 complete compression sacks for MSS. This over here, there's a molly pack in it, a bunch of extra canteens, hydration bladder, my Coleman tent, one of my few tents. And then over here, that right there has my Moore's pot, my grease pot, bowl cooker, just rival cake and bake, my Pathfinder kettle. Right over here that is a jungle hammock, one of those Vietnam style jungle hammocks. Let's see, let's bring you over here. This, what's in that bag? Okay, there's a Alice Packs Swedish Army Swiss sleeping bag, a bivy bag, moving blankets. Let's just open that up and take a look. I want to show you something in here. See, I've got this is one of those Harbor Freight. This is one of those Harbor Freight moving blankets, and then it's got. Let's see. Let me put this over here. This is a complete bivy. I don't think I'm catching all this. This is a complete bivy right here that I've got rolled up ready to go, which shouldn't be in there. I don't like that being in there. And then this is a big old heavy, huge, I think it's a Swedish sleeping bag. I don't like for that to be in there all compressed. Now down here on the very bottom right here, I think you'll get a kick out of this. Let's see if I can see what I am doing. Let's pull this out. This, I still can't see what I'm doing. Y'all must really want to see this place to go through this video. Inside here, all right, I had to move the camera so that you could see some of this stuff here. But what's in here is some of the longer machetes that won't fit on the rack that I have in here. Like this big beast here. Somebody saw this in the video once. I've got all kinds of larger machetes, and see, there's a machete. That's a small machete, mini machete. This is the machete that I made. It's been in several videos. Old folding saw, another folding saw. This is that's a Michael Hawk Hellion, brand new. They quit making it. I figured maybe one day it'll be a collector's item, so I don't use it. Haven't even taken it out. This is my Shavax. I keep it in here. Someday I'd like to do something with all of this stuff instead of just having it all, tucked away. But, in the meantime, this stuff being in a plastic case like this, that ain't even the right sheath for that one. I keep bow saws in here. Here's a couple of bow saws. And this is the thing right here. As you can see right here is all of my hand drill sets. A lot of times I'll rotate them things. And these hand drill sets, I'll make new ones. But I've got all kinds of hearth boards. I like hand drills better than the bow drill. And then right in here, look at that. That's an axe down in there. This is a tube that I carry this is a tube, and see, I like to have all this stuff out. This is a tube that I carry that's covered from one end to the other with paracord. And when I carry a hand drill with me, I'll put it in this tube and wear it on my shoulder or strap it to the pack so that the hand drill doesn't get broken. So, you know, that's kind of handy having that. But that's that pin right there that stays under there. Like I said, just got junk everywhere. Box. That thing is full of, it's got homemade cook gear, scoop stove, grills, fryer pot, cutting boards. Let's see if I can pull this thing out to where you can kind of get an idea of it. See, it's just, this is, I mean, there's stuff everywhere in here. All kinds of junk, and some of these pans here, they've got all different kinds of small grills and devices, and you know, it's like, this thing here is for a tripod. Well, I got 3 of those, and then this thing here is a little grill that goes over a coffee thing. Some of my just earliest stuff here. There's some more junk down there in the end. Swiss volcano stoves. Put that back. Then over here, there's another box right here that's got, what is that? Let's see. My large stainless steel pot, camp cook items, tech sport set, exponent set. You know, I keep this stuff. Those are Nomex sleeves so that you don't get burnt. That's my cook set that I've got. Thing ain't staying. And then I've got this inside here. This is a stainless steel big pot, and it has like, this is where I keep all of my smaller items. You know, this is like silverware and leather holders. That's some titanium sporks. This is an MSR pot lifting device. You know, wooden spoon. There's all kinds of different spoons and things in here. Wooden spatula. I got 2 of these exponent kits. Like, this is a Teflon pan that's special made to fit over a grill. I keep that in there. Here's a tube. I can just grab the tube here, and it's full of spatulas, spoons, forks, and a leather holder. I grab that most of the time. Down in the bottom, there's a knife down in there. These are my cutting boards. See, this is where all the small stuff is, and I really don't like where it's at. These are some folding cups. I don't really like, and I think there's another box over there that's full of all this stuff. But I mean, for now, this is just the way it is, you know. I just, like I said, I wanted to get this all done and make this video and show some of this stuff over here. So, let's go over here for a minute. Oh, and this, while I'm looking at all this stuff that's down here, this blue bag is my camera bag. See, it's got all of my tripod type stuff in it. This is for filming. I have various tripods in it and things. I've got some homemade devices for filming. Over the years, you know, you come up with this stuff. And I think that down there's my, that can right there's got my, what do you call it? My bags for carrying wood, firewood and stuff. Here's another. This is a box. It's just a catch-all for stuff that was laying around everywhere. Those are all wooden pot holders and things and cook sets that I've carved and made over the years. And I don't want to throw away. There's my survival blanket, which I have no place to put. I think y'all remember that. It's got that reflective lining. Oh, there it goes. I put my survival bag right back here in the survival blanket back in the corner. It fell over. And here's a various mesh bag right here. This vest right here I lost. It's a duck hunting vest. It's for a video in the future. Up here up top's another bag. There's an olive drab M65 field jacket. Down below it right there, there's another olive drab field jacket. Over here, this is an olive drab field jacket with the liner. This is brand new with the hood. Behind it, there's another M65 field jacket with a liner. And see, the thing is, this stuff, these jackets weigh a ton. And so I haven't got them hanging, many of them hanging with the regular clothing. Over here, all these pants here are either Columbia or REI or North Face, and they're like nylon and polyester. These are hiking pants. They're all hanging right here. And then over here here's another M65 jacket. And over here, this is another row of pants. All these are rain pants. These are all rain pants, and they've got the stuff sacks hanging with them. That way they don't get lost. Wait a minute, where am I at? I'm so turned around. All these are rain pants hanging right here, and I have the stuff sacks hanging with them so that I can find them, so that, you know, that way whenever, like if I want to bring rain pants and I stuff them in my cargo pants, that's them. This over here is a DPM jacket with a British military neck warmer. I think back behind it there's this is a modified M51 parka. The hood's been modified on it. I don't know if I've ever showed it or not. Let's go down here. Just a quick go through on the clothing. And may I say that if there's enough interest generated in it, I might in the future do a clothing video. But here's a bunch of jackets right here. This is all the underwear type stuff. Now the bottoms for the underwear are in my Chester drawers. The tops I like to hang here, and these are all like those polyester, like, you know, the North Face and Under Armour. That's a North Face one. This is like the Under Armour tactical gear. You know, I got a lot of that stuff. The cotton thermal underwear I wear at work. I don't wear here. And these are a bunch of these are all military colored shirts. They're coyote and olive drab. And then there's 3 sleep shirts here. These are those polyester sleep shirts, military. Here's a fleece jacket. This is a wool military jacket. This is a fleece liner. These 2 here are extra liners if I ever need them. This is one of those lightweight backpacker jackets. That's another liner. This black thing right here is some kind of a winter coat. A couple of more fleeces, several fleeces right through here. Now right here, I don't always wear camouflage, and I wanted the video to be cool, so that's why I put the camouflage stuff over on the wall. But all these are those outfitter type shirts. You know, that's the lightweight type shirts and shooter shirts, and, you know, the kind that's got like the pockets on them and everything. You know, I think there's about 25 of those. And then right over here in this little section, there's wool pants, and here's 3 pairs of pants right here. Those are North Face pants right there. These 3 pants right here, what I did is I bought them a size too big, and I've got liners in them. So those are my winter pants. Like I said, there's one size too big. I bought them that way on purpose to put liners in them. And here's some more various camouflage: tree bark, woodland camo, ACU, desert digital, Marpat. It's like a black and gray. Another one there. All these pants here, and we moved everything around. All of these pants are like those tactical 511 pants that have all the neat pockets on them and stuff. Pull off a pair here. Let's see. No, those are true spec. They're like 911. There's a pair. That's a good example of a pair right there. They've got all the tactical pockets and things on them. But anyway, I got a bunch of pairs of those. Those are tan. These are olive drab, sage green, olive drab. I got some black pants, gray pants, green pants. These 2 jackets here are both Gore-Tex jackets. That is my olive drab anorak. I got a multicam anorak, desert camo. That's a Nomex outfit, pants top and bottom. This is Alpenflage, tiger stripe, old wore out multicam, another jacket. And then down there is just all various jackets. I think there's a down jacket over there in the corner, just shirts and things. And then all that junk, and then down at the bottom right there's Nick's junk. It's a tub full of his stuff and some blankets and some hats. And on this table I've laid out an example of like how I will lay items out for when I'm planning a trip. You know, whatever I'm going to plan for, I'll have everything laid out on a table there that I think I need, and then I'll write it down. And then when I get done, I'll put the pack over there, or I may just leave the pack right here on the end of the table for use. There's my paracord box. I just left all that out. Alright, so there's the gear room. There's the full tour. Like I said, the place is still not completely organized like I want it to be, but those things takes time. But right now, it's better than it's ever been. As far as I know right now, other than the fishing equipment, which is in the other room, and then I have another room full of fabric and my sewing machine and everything, that both of those rooms are a total mess. But this room, I honestly believe that now I can find everything that I need. That everything is within sight. It's not in big piles. I had a pile piled up to my neck before. So anyway, this is excess. This is 30 years of buying things I don't need, making things, just stuff piling up everywhere. I can go anywhere I want, plan any trip I want. It's wonderful to have just everything at your disposal to where you can see it, you can grab it, and you can go with it. Like I said, you people that have spouses that think you have too much gear, show them this video and show them how lucky they really got it. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I am going to do in the future a video on all my homemade cook gear. Don't know, may or may not do one on clothing, you know, hats, gloves, jackets, boots, pants, shirts, whatever. If there's enough interest generated in it, I may do one of them too. I don't know how interesting clothing is, but as you can see, I have a massive amount of outdoor clothing. And so, until then, I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I can get back out and doing videos actually in the woods like I enjoy. The hard work is over. I've toiled and worked and slaved on this room, and I'm finally very happy with it. So, until then, I shall see you in the next one.